The rain drowned the city. Heavy, black, merciless. In was walking fast, hugging her coat. Tighter when the sound split the night, a gun hot. She froze. Her eyes followed the sound and stopped. There he was. A man stood in the middle of the road, shoulders relaxed, a geon still smoking in his hand. A body lay at his feet. For a second, he didn't move. Then his head turned. Slowly, his eyes found hers. In's blood ran cold. She should have screamed. She should have run. But the man smiled. It was not a nervous smile, not a guilty one come like he had been expecting her all along. Before she could react, he walked to her, his hand closing around hers, with terrifying certainty. His grip was iron. She pulled back, but he didn't budge. Don't, he whispered, leaning close enough for her to feel the heat of his breath under the rain. You saw nothing. Then he dragged her, through dark streets she'd never seen, through alleys that twisted like a maze, until the city's lights disappeared. Finally, he pushed open a rusted door, and pulled her inside. The place was suffocating. Concrete walls, scattered metal chains, broken furniture. It wasn't a home. It was a cage. In stumbled back, voice shaking. Why bring me here? What do you want? Jungkook leaned against the door, watching her with unreadable eyes. Drops of rain slid down his jaw as he spoke. You don't have to worry about what you saw. Her chest tightened. Then let me go. He tilted his head, smirk tugging at his lips. Double quotes. Why would I let go of the one person I've been waiting for? And her breath caught. How do you know my name? His eyes darkened. Something unhinged, flickering in them. I've always known. The room was silent, except for the storm beating against the rusted windows. In's pulse hammered in her throat as she searched the shadows of the cage-like house. Chains, broken glass, papers scattered like madness itself. Her voice cracked. You kill someone. I saw it. You can't just Jungkook. Single quotes ass laugh, cut her off. Low, dark, you think I care. He walked closer, every step slow, deliberate. In pressed back, until her spine hit the cold wall. He leaned in, his shadow swallowing hers. I didn't bring you here because you saw, he whispered. Eyes locked on hers. I brought you here because I finally got you. Double quotes. Her breath hitched. You don't even know me. Jungkook tilted his head, his smile widening in a way that didn't reach his eyes. Oh, but I do. The way you take the same road every Thursday night. The way you keep your headphones in, pretending you don't hear the world. The way you look over your shoulder, always too careful. Her chest tightened. He wasn't guessing. He had been watching. You've been following me, she whispered. His hand came up, brushing wet strands of hair from her face, though she flinched at his touch. Following? No. He leaned closer, lips brushing her ear. I've been waiting. YN tried to push him back, but his grip on her wrist was unbreakable. She wanted to scream, but the silence of the place swallowed her whole. Jungkook's smile faded, replaced by something darker, sharper. Don't fight me, In. You won't win. And for the first time, she realized. It wasn't just about the murd, it was about her. The storm had passed, but inside his cage-like house, the air was heavier than ever. Jungkook had disappeared into another room. In's heart thudded as her eyes darted around. The door, just a few feet away, rusted, unlocked, maybe. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the handle. Creak. She froze. The sound of boots echoed behind her, going somewhere. Her stomach dropped. Slowly, she turned. Jungkook stood there, hair damp, a towel hanging from his shoulder. His smile wasn't playful anymore. It was dangerous. I told you, he murmured, stepping closer. Don't fight me. I can't stay here. Her voice cracked, her back pressed against the door. You killed someone. What if you kill me too? Jungkook stopped inches from her, tilting his head. For a long moment, silence. Then, if I wanted to kill you, he whispered, you'd already be dead. His words sank like poison. His hand came up, caging her against the door. I don't want your death, In. I want you. Her chest tightened, breath shallow. Why me? He leaned in, his eyes searching hers. With an intensity that burned. Because you're the only thing in this rotten world worth keeping. In's throat tightened. Her instincts screamed to run, but her body was frozen under his gaze. Then his smile curved again. Come. Chilling. Try to leave again, and I'll have to make sure you can't. The implication lingered. Heavier than chains. And realized, then this wasn't just a cage. This was a trap she wasn't meant to escape. Night stretched endlessly inside the cage house. In lay awake on the floor, her wrists raw from struggling against the ropes. Every creak of the old walls reminded her she wasn't alone. From the other side of the room, came the scratch of a pen. Jungkook was writing, again. She forced herself to whisper, what are you doing? Silence. Then, without looking up, keeping track, her stomach knotted. Of what? Jungkook finally lifted his eyes. Dark, steady, you. He stood, crossing the room in 3 slow steps, and crouched in front of her. His notebook dangled loosely in his hand. In's heart pounded as she caught glimpses of the pages, dates, times, notes, her life, the roads she walked, the places she visited, even the color of the scarf she wore last winter. Her blood ran cold. You've been watching me for months. He smiled faintly. Years. Her throat closed. Why? Jungkook leaned closer, his voice low, almost tender. Because no one else sees you the way I do. They pass you by. I don't. You were never invisible to me. Tears stung her eyes, but anger burned hotter. That's not love. That's obsession. The smile faded, his jaw tightened. For a moment she thought he might snap, hurt her. But instead, he stood pacing. You'll understand, he muttered, almost to himself. You'll see I'm the only one who can protect you. Keep you. Even if you hate me now. In's hands shook against the ropes. Her chest tightened with terror. He didn't plan to let her go, not now. Not ever. And then she saw it. Behind him, half hidden under torn papers, was a photograph. Her photograph, torn edges, taped back, together, worn from too much touch. Her stomach dropped. This wasn't just about tonight. This had started long before. In's eyes stayed glued to the torn photograph on the floor. Why would he keep this? Why me? Her breath hitched when Jungkook suddenly bent down, scooping it up before she could reach. He shoved it back into his notebook with a look that silenced her. You shouldn't see things that aren't yours, he murmured. Before In could respond, the sound of the door rattling broke the tension. Someone was outside. Her pulse spiked. Help. But Jungkook's expression shifted instantly. His relaxed smile gone, replaced with sharp alertness. He grabbed her arm, pulling her behind him. The door burst open. A man stormed inside, drenched in rain, a knife glinting in his hand. His eyes landed on YN. Double quotes. There you are. The world blurred. Jungkook moved so fast, she barely saw it. A gunshot cracked. The man collapsing before he even reached her. In's heart stopped. 2 bodies. 2 deaths. Both by his hands. Jungkook didn't even flinch. He stepped over the corpse. Checked the pulse, then turned back to her. His voice was calm, cold. Don't look at him. Look at me. YN stumbled back, her voice trembling. You killed again. Why? Who was he? Jungkook's jaw clenched. He wiped blood from his hand onto his shirt, eyes locked on her. Someone who wanted to hurt you. Her stomach twisted. You're lying. You don't even know me. But deep down, something cracked in Herbie, causing that stranger's dying eyes. She had seen something. Hatred directed at her. Why? The next days blurred. Jungkook barely left her side. Whenever she tried to escape, he was there blocking the door, dragging her back. But every night, she woke to hear him pacing, gun always within reach, eyes fixed on windows like he was waiting for something. And then the attack started. Once, when the glass shattered in the middle of the night, a masked man lunged inside with a blade. Jungkook fought like a beast, disarming him in seconds, his knife sinking deep, and screamed, pressed against the wall. But when it was over, Jungkook only checked her first. His hands trembling as they ran down her arms, searching for wounds. Another time, fire. Someone had set the back of the house alight. Jungkook kicked the door open, dragging now through smoke and flame. She coughed, choking, tears burning her eyes. But even as the fire roared behind them, his grip on her never loosened. Why are they after me? She whispered once, voice breaking. Jungkook's gaze softened, just for a moment, before the mask returned. You don't remember, he muttered. She froze. Remember what? He didn't answer. The memories began to haunt her. Nightmares of numbers, codes, glowing screens, flashes of men in masks. Her own voice screaming. Then nothing. One morning, she woke to find Jungkook's notebook, left open by mistake. She flipped through it, desperately, and there it was, a sketch of her. Notes scrawled underneath. Project SERAPH. Software tracing organized crime transactions. Subject. In primary developer. Target for elimination after breach. Her hands shook. The words didn't make sense. Software. Project. Seraphme. The sound of a gun cocking froze. Jungkook stood in the doorway, expression unreadable. Weapon aimed but not at her. Behind her, another figure had appeared. Knife raised. Bang. The man dropped dead inches from her. In's knees buckled. Jungkook tossed the gun aside and knelt before her, his hands gripping her face. You see now, his voice was rough, breaking. They'll keep coming, until you're gone. YN stared into his eyes, her voice a whisper. Then, why don't you tell me the truth? His jaw tightened. He didn't answer. Not yet. The silence between them grew heavier with each day. In still hated him. She told herself that, over and over again. She hated his cold eyes, his iron grip, the way He seemed to know every move she would make. But when the window shattered one night, spraying glass across the floor, and a bullet whizzed past her ear, he was the one who pulled her down, covering her body with his own, taking the weight of danger without hesitation. His breath was hot against her ear, as he whispered, "Stay down." The gunfight outside raged for what felt like hours. When it was over, Jungkook stood over the fallen attackers, chest heaving, blood streaking his cheek. He turned back to her, checking her arms, her face, her trembling hands. "Not a scratch," he muttered in relief, and stared at him, her heart pounding for reasons she couldn't name. She wanted to scream at him, run from him, but in that moment she felt safe, only under his shadow. The next day, while Jungkook was gone, In wandered through the wreck of his cage house. Her eyes landed on a drawer left slightly open. Inside burnt documents, coded printouts, photos, all of her, and one picture stood out. A younger version of her, smiling faintly, holding a laptop. On the corner of the photo was a note in Jungkook's handwriting. "Seraph, the reason they'll never stop." Her hands trembled. What was Seraph? Why couldn't she remember? When Jungkook returned, bruised and bleeding from yet another fight, she couldn't stop herself. "Who are you really?" she demanded. "You're not just some obsessed man. You're hiding something." Double quotes. He froze. For the first time, he didn't have an immediate answer. His eyes softened, just slightly, before the mask slipped back. "You'll know when it's time." The truth came in blood and fire. They were ambushed on the street. Cars boxed them in, masked men pouring out with weapons. "Ins!" screamed. Was lost in the chaos. Jungkook shoved her behind him, firing relentlessly. But there were too many. One man broke through. Knife raised, lunging straight for her. She froze until Jungkook threw himself in front of her. The blade sank into his shoulder. He grunted, staggering, but didn't stop. He disarmed the man. In a blur, snapping his neck before collapsing against the wall. Jungkook dropped to her knees, hands pressing against the blood soaking his shirt. "Stay with me, stay." His lips curved into a faint, pained smile. "Finally, you say my name." Her throat closed, tears blurring her vision. "Why would you do this? Why protect me if I'm nothing to you?" He laughed weakly. "Nothing. You're everything. You just don't remember." Double quotes. Her eyes widened. "Remember what?" The world tilted. Flashes hit her mind. Her fingers flying across a keyboard. A program lighting up the screen. Project Seraph. Her voice screaming as masked men dragged her. A blow to her head. Darkness. Her chest heaved. "It was me. The software." Jungkook's head fell back, eyes fluttering. "I was sent to protect you. Always. Even if you hate me, I'd rather you live and hate me than die not knowing." Tears slid down her cheeks. Her hands tightened on his, her voice breaking. "You idiot. You should have told me." For the first time, she wasn't fighting him. She was holding on like she'd never let go. Blood ran down Jungkook's shoulder, staining her hands. "Don't close your eyes." In's voice shook. She pressed harder against the wound, panic tearing through her chest. "You're not allowed to leave me. Do you hear me?" His lashes fluttered, breath shallow. Yet he still tried to smile. "You finally care." Tears blurred her vision. "Of course I care. You're insane. You kept me like a prisoner. You terrified me, but you saved me, every single time. Why? Why me?" His gaze locked on hers. Pain, but also something softer. Because you created Seraph. The only software that can rip organized crime apart. That's why they came for you. That's why you lost your memory. They wanted you, erased. Double quotes. Her chest heaved. Memories crashed back like broken glass nights of coding, voices praising her, then screams. Fire. The hit to her head. Her voice broke. "I was the reason." "No," Jungkook whispered, his hand brushing her tear-streaked cheek. "You were the cure. And I was sent to protect you. Not because it was my mission. Because somewhere along the way, it became you. Only you." Her tears fell harder. Her lips trembled as she whispered. "I thought you were my curse. But you were my shield." He coughed, blood staining his lips. "At least I got to see you remember before the end." Double quotes. "No." Her grip tightened desperately. "Don't you dare. You don't get to die after making me," she choked. Voice shattering. "After making me fall for you." Silence. And then Jungkook groaned, rolling slightly as if the weight of the world lifted off his chest. His hand grabbed hers, strong and warm despite the blood. It didn't hit the heart, he muttered with a faint smirk, just the shoulder. "Hurts like hell." In froze, then smacked his chest weakly, sobbing. "You bastard. You scared me." His hand caught hers, holding it over his heartbeat. Double quotes. "Now you know what you mean to me." The night was finally quiet. No gunshots, no fire, no shadows lurking at the door, just silence. In stood in front of Jungkook, her fingers tracing over the fresh bandage on his shoulder. He winced slightly, but his smirk never faded. "You really scared me," she whispered, her voice breaking. but steadier than before. Scaring you seems to be the only thing I'm good at, he murmured, eyes dark and unreadable. Her lips trembled, torn between anger and something she could no longer deny. No, the only thing you're good at is protecting me. Even when I didn't want you to. His jaw flexed, and before he could answer, she gripped his shirt and pulled him closer. Their breaths tangled her chest, rising and falling fast against his. And he breathed, his voice low, warning, as if he was losing control. But she didn't let him finish. She crushed her lips against his. It wasn't gentle. It was raw, desperate, the kind of kiss that burned with every unspoken word between them. His hand slid to the back of her neck, pulling her tighter. His body pressing her into the wall. The taste of blood and rain still lingered, but it only made it more intoxicating. Her fingers curled into his hair, tugging, earning a deep groan from his chest. He kissed her like he'd been waiting. Ears rough, consuming, like she was the only thing keeping him alive. When they finally broke apart, gasping, their foreheads pressed together. I hate you, she whispered, though her swollen lips betrayed her. His smirk returned, dangerous and irresistible. Say that again. She kissed him once more, slower this time, their breaths mingling, her body melting into his. When she pulled back, her voice was nothing more than a whisper against his mouth. I love you, Jungkook. His hand slid down her back, gripping her waist as he whispered against her lips, and I'd bleed 1,000 times just to hear you say that once. The storm that began with death ended with Firand in his arms. In finally understood that sometimes obsession wasn't madness. Sometimes it was love. Weeks later, the cage house was gone, replaced with sunlight, fresh air, and freedom. In sat at a laptop again. Seraph's code alive beneath her fingertips. This time, she wasn't alone. Jungkook leaned against the wall, his arm still bandaged, watching her. With the same intensity as always, but softer now. You know, she said quietly, not looking up, I still hate how you lied. He smirked faintly. But you love that I never left. Her lips curved despite herself. She closed the laptop, stood, and walked toward him, her fingers brushed his bandaged shoulder gently, double quotes, secret agent or not, you're mine now. Jungkook's eyes softened, his hand pulling her closer, and you're mine. Not as a mission, as everything. The storm that once bound them had passed, and what remained was something neither had expected. A love born from blood, lies, and protection. A love that survived.